What's up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys a video for all my Alaskans. So this one's going to be about the Alaskan PFD. So before I even get into this, check out my PayPal, ninjanick0069 at gmail.com. That is for all donations for anything when it comes to my shooting, gaming, my political commentary, stuff like that. That way, I can keep hammering out a lot of the other videos that a lot of y'all like to watch. A lot of the shooting ones especially, because ammo's expensive. But anyways, this one's going to be about the PFD and how it's projected us to get about a 2,300 or whatever it was, which is kind of funny. 2,700, my bad. And that's if we get a 50-50. Now, see, I suggest they do a one-time payout and $30,000, and this is why I say so, right? Because I already did the math on this, and with the current population we have and everything else, so the PFD currently right now is worth $75 billion, $75.6 billion. That's how much they have, okay, in the coffers for the PFD. So if they did a one-time payout for every qualifying Alaskan, right? For every qualifying Alaskan, 30,000 would literally just be just about $21 billion, just a little over it, right? Which then would leave 54 billion plus or minus somewhere around there, like 53, 54 billion dollars left. Okay. Now they can do that easy, especially if they're actually able to get the pipeline going, the natural gas pipeline, and everything else. If all of that works out, that 21 billion some odd dollars that they lost, I can't say lost out on, but gave to the taxpayers of Alaska, that they owe that money to, because for the last, I don't know, 20 years they've been nickeling and diming us. Now I've only been here for about almost 10 years, but for everyone else, I mean, shoot, they've been dealing with this for a long time. But they can end up doing this. This is doable. A one-time payout is doable. And how we go about it, right, is we go to our state reps. We tell them, you talk to these sitting house members, you tell them what we want. And the other thing is, we need to go there to these meetings and tell them what we want. We need to tell them, you can do a one-time payout. It's easy. And you can't sit there and say, no, we need this money for our schools or for this or for that, right? Because all this school year, the school administrator, the head of the school system up here in Alaska, fucked up. So many schools had to share buses because they didn't have enough bus drivers, because they overspent their money on a certain kind of program that they wanted to teach students in schools, to the point to where they didn't even bother to hire bus drivers. So they had to do this little like hopscotch thing, to where, 1 week, one school had, busing, or it was like 1 week on, like 3 weeks off. So like 3 weeks out of the month, the parents are having to drive their kids to school. So many people are sitting in a line for 40 minutes to over an hour dropping off their kids. So many people were late for work. There were people who got fired from their job because they were late repeatedly, because they had to drop their kids off to school. So many people went without busing for their children because of this. And they can't sit there and say, oh, well, we need it for our infrastructure. So many businesses across Alaska have had their roofs collapse because they don't have enough money to pay for people to come and de-ice and de-snow their roofs. So many things have happened this year. Our administration can't sit there and say, no, we need this money for the state. No, the people need the money. The people are the ones who are suffering. The people are the ones who are going through all this stuff. It's not the state representatives. It's the people, the taxpayers. So I say we have protests. We go out there and demand that they pay us this money. A one-time payout of $30,000 per Alaskan. Now, we'll get into this video. I'm already 4 minutes and some change. in here.
Is debating how big this year's permanent fund dividend will be.
Which is funny.
Even led State House settled on
$75.6 billion in the coffers.
for qualifying Alaskans.
But they only want to give you roughly 2.7K.
Plan, which splits the transfer from the permanent fund to allocate one half for dividends and the other half for state services. But does the
once again, state services, and that's everything across the board. Earlier this year, or technically last year, in December, it took them a month to finally, like I can't say a month, 3 weeks. It took them 3 weeks to clear out the sidewalk where I live. And then it proceeded to take them a month or more to get other areas, other sidewalks. People were walking in the streets to be able to get to work. There were people who were getting hit by cars because they had to walk in the road to get to work because they didn't have enough state workers to sit there and plow the roads. They are talking out their ass. And right here is proof, which is where I'm telling you, if you live in Alaska, make your voice heard. Post it all over social media. Whenever you see one of these state reps, you talk to them. And I mean, be nice. Don't be rude. Don't be violent. Don't do nothing stupid. But sit there and go, how can you sit there and say you're only going to give us $1,000, $2,000, or maybe $3,000, and yet you're saying half the other money is going to be used for whatever it's for? Y'all got $75.6 billion sitting in the state coffers, and you're saying you can't give each Alaskan $30K for the next 10 years? Yes, you can. Now the only problem with that is, now see, the thing is, next 10 years, $30K, right? We roughly get about $1,000 to $2,000, roughly, per person, okay? Now, 10 years from that is only about 10 to, is usually about a little bit over 10, a little over $20,000 within 10 years, okay? So these state reps are sitting House members and everything. They're just talking out their ass. And of course, most of them are Democratic. I mean, we do have some Republicans in there. But the thing is, it doesn't matter the title. I don't care about your title or anything like that. What I care about is you do your job. That's it. And y'all have not done that whatsoever. So, Dunleavy, you've been kicking ass. I love you, man. You need to get out there and you need to tell our sitting House members, and I know you don't have power over them. That's obvious. I know that. But you do still have a sway. So does Bronson. Everything that's going on in this state is due to poor management. And I'm talking about locally. Our governor, he's kicking butt. Our senators, they're kicking some butt. But the thing is, the people are hurting. Alaska's hurting. And we need to fix it. So, you need to get out there, protest. You need to get out there and tell the representatives what we want. One-time payout, even if it takes 10 years to refill the coffers, we're good. Just make it to the point to where the money can't leave the state, such as you get $30K, you're not moving out of the state. I'm not saying you can't go to your, summer home or spend like 2 or 3 months, somewhere else. But at the same time, you're not permanently moving somewhere else and then spending that 30 plus K somewhere in another state. Like, you should not be spending the majority of that money you got in another state, which is a big reason on why they probably are like, well, we can't do a payout because what if they leave the state? That money's for the state. Make it to the point to where if you get 30K, that 30K stays in Alaska. It's not hard to sit there and go, oh, you can't sit there, move down to, somewhere, and you're there for 6 months and majority of your money was spent down there. I'm not saying you can't go on trips. I'm not saying you can't do anything else like that. That should be allowed. But let's say you move somewhere and then you just spend about 10K in, California or 10K in Nevada or Florida or something like that. I think that at that point in time, you should be forced to pay that money back to the state. You know what I mean? So Dunleavy, Bronson, our sitting House members, come together for the people. Okay, especially you sitting House members, because if you think that you're untouchable and we can't actually remove you from your seats, you're wrong. We can vote you out. We can demand you step down. Like, we have that power. Like, you aren't untouchable when it comes to that. Like, come on. You need to listen to the people. That's all we want. That's all we want is for you to listen, okay? And if the big worry is the whole like money leaving the state, I totally get it. I understand that. I see that. I'm someone who has no want to leave this state. I love this state. This is the best state in the United States, in my opinion. So let's get it done. Let's talk and deliberate and see how we can get it and get everyone happy. Because a one-time payout for 10 years, that's enough time for them to rebuild the coffers, especially if this next coming year, with the pipeline getting done, that multi-billion dollar lawsuit that our governor won, which is another reason why they can afford to give us this money, they can do it. I'm already 11 minutes in, and I technically haven't even watched the video.
Have a chance in the state Senate.
But yeah, here we go.
What the Senate majority had to say earlier today.
So talk to the state Senate,
The plan
guys.
is just to go through the normal process. Yep, we've got a joint calendar between the two bodies, and we're on schedule to roll through here and be done on the 17th. It'd be nice to be done a couple days early, but there's just the normal process. If that helps at all, there's no plan to do a consolidated bill to merge everything together.
And see, this was last month,
Last
the
few
18th.
years.
And we're working closely with the House. They did pass the budget out, and we're trying to work with them and what the possibilities truly are in the end.
Now, the Senate has long been working on two of its priorities for the bill, adding funding for education and bolstering certain pension plans, with some estimates expecting the PFD from its budget to land around $1,300. Last year's combined
see, $1,300
and energy relief check payment totaled more than $3,000. 200.
So you all Alaskans know how bullshit that was, which is another reason why you need to get out there on the streets and start demanding that they stop doing this crap. They have literally nickeled and dimed Alaskans for 20 plus years. It's time to stop. They can't sit there and say they can't do a one-time payout. They should. They should do it. Now, if someone stupidly spends all their money before those 10 years are over, that's their fault. That's their fault. The way I see it is, like, you spent $30,000 in like less than 10 years. What the fuck are you doing with that money? You know what I mean? Other than, basic necessities, because that's what it should be used for. Utilities, rent, house payment, whatever it is that's what it should be there for. You know what I mean? And if you're also working at the same time, there's no way that you, the person's gonna run out of money. Matter of fact, that $30,000 that you got for PFD should definitely help you start stacking up and saving money. That way, you can actually then, I don't know, build a business, which then helps the economy. So, get out there, be active, talk to the state senate, tell them we ain't gonna accept no little teeny tiny PFD. We want either a max payout, or you give us what you owe us, okay? Because they can't sit there and say, well, we need this for state education, we need this for, infrastructure, because, like I said at the beginning of the video, and there's news reports about it. Just check it out on the internet. It's crazy.
For qualifying Alaskans. The Senate Finance Committee is also scheduled to hold
See,
hearings
Juneau
at the
City.
end of this
That's
week.
where they go. They go to Juneau. They literally go to Juneau so that you and I, average everyday people, can't get there and call them out on their bullshit.
Thursday and Friday. The constitutional 121-day session limit lands in mid-May.
Which we've already seen. So, once again, $75.6 billion in the coffers that they have for the PFD. They could do a one-time payout of $30,000 per qualifying Alaskans, which, if you go off of the current population of 730,000 some odd people that they have here right now, that's just about $21 billion. Just a little over. But then it's still qualifying Alaskans. So it's not going to be all of them. You know what I mean? It's anyone who actually filled out their PFD information on time, anyone who actually, isn't a convict who owes a lot of money to the state, shit like that. So, I mean, just do a one-time payout, guys. Just ask for it, demand it. It's not hard. And then just use the money wisely. That's what it's supposed to be for. It's not supposed to be lavish, luxury, like, crazy shit. I'm not saying don't do something fun with it. Like, like, hey, a trip or something once, one time, that's it. Okay. The rest of the money for whatever, like bills, especially right now, in my opinion, that's all it should be on for. But hey, you need to have fun and be happy. So, like, share, subscribe, spread the word if you're from Alaska and you see this video. Literally let your state reps know, hey, we're watching you guys very carefully. We're watching you very carefully. So don't play with our money. There's a lot of parents in this state who are pissed off. There's a lot of workers in this state who are pissed off. Y'all gave away a lot of our money to a lot of places that didn't need it. There's a lot of people who didn't get unemployment because of poor management of it. There's a lot of people who didn't get any food stamps because of poor management. And they're saying it's going to take months to fix it. They need to fix this now. They can't sit there and say they can't do it. Yes, they can, and they should. So, like, share, subscribe, spread the word. Later, guys.